Hello and welcome. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina program, and I am starting early to do the November flies. I will be in Tennessee for this class, so I will have someone fill in for me once again. But I wanted to get this ready to go and so they can watch the videos and teach this class for me. So the materials are pretty simple. The back part is essentially just marabou quills and colored black. We're using for the body, we have standard black chenille. For the thorax, we're using ultra fluorescent chartreuse. How about just chartreuse? And the standard as well. For the hackle, we're using a black rooster cape. The hook we're using a TMC 5263 size 8. We are using lead for this as well, and the weight we're using is .015, and the thread we are using is just black 8 or 6/0 will work. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Put our hook in, and this is going to be tricky because I got to do some big wraps with this, so we'll see how it works. First, we'll start out with our lead. And since we're not putting a bead on this, and this is a wet fly, we want to put a lot of lead. So we're just going to do the wraps in the back, and I'm going to start at the hook point. Oops. And we're just going to carry it all the way forward. With touching wraps, and we want to stop it about 3 to 4 eye lengths behind the eye. Let me see what I've got here. Okay, and we want to leave it about the hook point, so I got a little ways more to go. And that looks good. Alright, and then we just want to securely pinch this off. Hopefully we can get it removed without any serious tags. Alright, that looks pretty good. I do see a little poker tag. Sorry, my hands are all dyed black because of the dyed marabou and chenille. So let's go ahead and start our thread wraps. And it's a little awkward because I have to go in between the camera. So once we get that going, we can remove the tag. Alright, so that's good. So now I'll just loosely carry the thread wraps forward. We don't want to space this out too much. We just want to have the thread going over it so we can create a thread dam here. Secure it, and then we can come back. Come back with just loose wraps, and then I'm going to bring it back to the end of the thread wraps. Alright, and that looks pretty good. Next, what we want to do is we want to grab some of our marabou. And what we want to do with this, I just pull out one strand. It comes in a string, and I just pull out one strand. And we want this to set off the back of the hook, the bend of the hook, with some great length. So probably a good inch and a half. That looks good. Sound like Bob Ross with those pretty little trees. But so just go ahead and secure it on top of the shank of the hook. And we want it to build up in front of the lead here, because we want the chenille to wrap evenly on the body. So right there, it looks good. I think it's tight. Let me put a couple more wraps. I don't know if it's tight enough because I've got to work around this camera. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and it seems a little loose, but we'll see if it works. Let's go ahead and remove the remaining portion of the chenille, and maybe I can tighten this in better. So I'm just going to put some tighter wraps to make sure it's nice and secure. But what we don't want is the fish to come and bite the tail and then take the tail with it. Alright, that's it. And so now I'm going to bring my wraps all the way, if I can get there, to the back. There we go. Right in front of where the marabou begins. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my my black chenille, and I'm going to expose the core of the chenille. It's the little white line in the middle. You can use your fingertips to do this. I just use the end of my scissors with my thumb, and most of the time it picks it pretty clean. But anyway, let's go ahead and tie in this right where the marabou begins. Make it nice and secure. Alright, that looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my thread wraps about 4 eye lengths behind the eye. Yeah, right about there. Okay, so let's take our chenille with touching wraps to our thread. And you don't want to be so tight to where you're bending the hook, but go ahead and just make it kind of snug. I'm going to do one more wrap for good measure. Yep. And we're going to secure that here. Okay, with 2 to 3 wraps. Okay, and then we need to remove the remaining chenille. I like to take my forefinger and take the thread out of the way so I can get nice and tight in here and cut without cutting my thread. I've cut my thread many times and just realized that was a really good way to get the thread out of the way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the green chenille and expose the core. And we're going to tie this in right where the black chenille is. And get a couple good wraps in there and then secure it down. And then we want to bring our thread to our beginning position. So let's just take the chenille and bring it forward to our thread. And we're just doing 2 to 3 wraps here. And I think I had it right there. Okay. Go ahead and put some loose wraps and then some tighter wraps. Okay. Get my thread out of the way. And we're going to trim this. Okay, I'm going to break down the rest of this chenille that I see here. And then I'm going to bring some thread wraps forward. Hopefully cover up this chenille. There we go. Alright, so now what we need to do is we're going to pull out a piece of hackle from our cape. And I'm going to strip it to where I want to tie it in. May have done a little bit much there, but we'll see. Okay. So where we've stripped it, we're going to tie it in pretty good. Several wraps forward, and then you can go ahead and remove the remaining portion of the stem. And then I'm going to tie the remaining part of that down and make sure all of my chenille is covered. Right there, okay. Alright, so now I'm going to grab my hackle pliers because I did cut that a little short. But that's alright. That's why we got these stupid things. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to take the hackle and we're just going to wrap it around. And kind of bring it forward a little bit. Don't want to over wrap your hackle. So, I think I got it there. So now we're just going to secure it in with several wraps. Good. Now I'm going to take the remaining hackle and get that out of there. Alright. You can see how a little bit of that has come forward, which is alright, because I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to push it back. Just so it won't be overbearing on the eye of the hook. I think we're good there. So from here all we want to do is just put a whip finish in it, which is going to be really tricky because I don't have a lot of, yeah. Alright. Good to go. Do I have any fibers in there? Looks like I got them out. Good. And there we have the tadpole. This hackle is a little big for what the recipe indicated, but you have to do with what you get. And our program isn't wealthy enough to go out and spend several $1,000s on every size hackle there is. So it was a guess, and still had the hackle, and you know how to do it. So there you go. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina program. We appreciate any shares that you could send to some fellow vets. If you like what you see, certainly subscribe. We're going to be doing more videos come this winter, and I'll have a lot more time available to do so. And we appreciate you watching. Again, this is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and this is November Fly, the Tadpole.